Hello, rejects. Greg here.
John here.
Headshot trailer 2. We had a lot of requests come in today because this trailer dropped, and I really love the first trailer. I saw it with John. He really dug it too. We are big fans of the Raid films. I didn't know this until earlier today, but the guys who played Baseball Batman and Hammer Girl in the Raid 2 are actually in this film as well. And I think Julia Estelle is one of the main characters in this film. I think he plays Rama's wife, whatever his name is, Ayahuasca.
Iko
Uwais. And we couldn't find trailers with the subtitles available, so we're gonna have to watch this without subtitles. Good thing the trailer's only a minute and a half, and we know the plot. Jason Bourne washes ashore, forgets his memory. Yeah, it's one of those stories where past comes back to haunt him. This past that he probably forgot about. Are you yawning in the middle of me talking?
Yeah, man.
Oh, well, glad you owned up to it. It's admirable.
Thanks, man. Honesty is very best.
Very respectable. Screenplay Infinite Films.
I love their films, I think.
Coba kalau kamu bisa jawab aku. Mungkin kamu bisa jelasin sedikit tentang dirimu. Di mana kamu tinggal? Apakah kamu disayangi seseorang? Apa yang kamu lakukan untuk bertahan hidup? Ishmael,
Rough hug.
siapa kamu sebenarnya?
Oh, we about to fuck some bitches up!
Whoa! Whoa!
Whoa! Whoa!
Jeepers. Whenever those guys do knife fights, man, those just look like the most nasty.
I hate knife stuff. Like, knife stuff bothers me more than a gunshot.
Yeah. Well, because you just know you're like ripping vital things apart.
And I think most of us have been cut by a knife, but like a little bit at least, like a little incision every once in a while, or had a needle or something. So we know what it's like to have our skin cut.
Yeah, you're like, even a kitchen knife, just like a regular kitchen, just flub, feels terrible. So I just can't imagine all that extra shit. Like, ooh.
Yeah, and it looks like real when it's happening.
You're like, you can think about a blow. You're like, oh, a hole can seal back up. But if you're just ripping things apart, like, those are limbs you're never going to use right again.
And I know we mentioned this when we did our first trailer review for this. I just can't help but, being an American, I'm gonna naturally compare this to the Bourne Identity in some ways, just because, like, it looks like he's a former hitman or something, Maybe not part of, like, the government, but it looks like he worked with, like, criminals.
Something violent for a living.
Yeah, imagine he had, like, some kind of criminal past, otherwise he would have such a strong set of skills.
Yeah, exactly.
Have all these bad guys coming after him.
Really into this stuff. I'm just an enthusiast. Go to a lot of fight tournaments.
What I want to see a little bit more capitalized on, though, that we're not really getting in the trailers, is the love relationship he has formed here, because this looks like this woman is someone who was part of his past and, was like, I'm waiting for him in the hospital. And I'm curious to see how that plays out.
What's
like,
the personal...
does she know his past? Is she, like, trying to shield him from his past? Like, oh, it's a good thing he doesn't remember. But then shit starts to haunt them. Like, I really want to see how those dynamics play out, because I felt in this trailer we did get more hints at their love story more than the other trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's some nice little notes in there, like when they're both, kind of sleeping together in the hospital room. Like, you get the sense for the...
Or when he hugs her.
Yeah. Ugh.
Such a rough hug.
Yeah, right. Ugh. I want to see what happens to their relationship when the shit goes down.
Yeah.
Because it has, like, the before and the after, but what's the mid?
Because Julia Estelle, I think, she's the one who played Hammer Girl, and she's playing the spouse or girlfriend, wife, I don't know.
Is she the doctor?
No, she looks like she's his lover.
Okay.
I mean, they have that hugging moment, and they're at the beach, and she photographs him.
Yeah.
A really personal doctor.
Well, no, but it says, like, a young doctor or something, like, that's in the...
description. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, but the plot description did describe it as a young nurse nursing him back to health. So maybe she fell in love with him while he was recovering.
That's possible.
One of those situations.
It's an intimate moment.
Either way, I mean, Julia still kicked ass in Raid 2. I would love to see her kick ass in this film as well. It'd be cool if they fought side by side. Find out this nurse has an awesome set of martial arts.
Yeah. She's only started doctoring in the later part of her life. She grew up an assassin, and instead of taking life, now she wants to nurse it back to health.
We could keep talking about how cool the visuals look and the tone and style, like from 2 trailers. I mean, these directors are known to do like rather, you know, what's the word for it? Kind of like
Awesome.
yeah. There's a certain kind of like menacing tone that gets under your skin in their films. And I'm interested to see them incorporate that a little, because I felt we got more of that in this trailer than we did the last one. The last one was more like Raid. I know they didn't do the Raid, but it was more Raid reminiscent of the cool action and shit. This one had a much more of a haunting tone to it, with like images of badassery in there.
Yeah, the 2 different trailers play with 2 different trailers play with 2 different senses of scope. I feel like we know that they do like really intense action. Like their action isn't fun, you know? It's like it is, but it isn't, because it's brutal.
It's fun because it's crazy as fuck, but it's also like cringeworthy.
Part of the interest in seeing this for me is to see like what the distinct tone they bring to this one is, because granted, like it's a different directing team than as did the Raid. Even so, like, you know, there's connective tissue. And I'm curious to see what the new shade is, because both the Raid films are very different, you know.
Yeah, totally.
And they all have this kind of gritty action style. So I'm curious to see what these 2 guys do with that.
But yeah, guys, Headshot. I can't find an official release date in the U.S. If you guys can comment it below when it'll be in California. Would love to know so we can be there opening night to review the film. If you're new to the channel, subscribe today, become a reject. John is a social media manager of 2 things, the Facebook sites of Bloomhouse and Real Rejects. And I want to give a shout out to ayahuasca. No, the drug, not the actor. Shout out to ayahuasca. You have really helped me find certain things about myself. Go to you every 3 months. I'm telling you, the things I learn, usually a lot of purging involved, a lot of vomiting and diarrhea, you know, shit happens.
You learn a lot about yourself when you're vomiting.
But you learn a lot and you lose some weight. You really cleanse yourself. That's how I stay thin and sexy.
Totally. All of this is true.